All right, yeah, we just need to have a moment of silence for the late Caleb Swiggin. It's a tragic thing. Adroit, what is your thoughts on this guy? Wonderful player.
Yeah, definitely, man. Rest in peace to him. From the sources that I was able to gather, man, it's just a terrible situation, man. Guy passed away only 25 years old, and it seemed like he was going through some things. From being a professional athlete to in less than a year, looking like he was retired for multiple years. It was just sad to see, but he put his body through a lot. It looked like he was depressed, and they say he died of natural causes. Um,
Okay.
yeah, he did a lot to his body, man. If you fighting depression or something, man, go seek some help, man. We don't want to see this happen to nobody else.
Yeah, life. We only have one life, and we just have to enjoy it while we have it. And it's just I feel like for athletes, mental health is very important, and also checking in on your players to make sure to see how they are doing. And since we're speaking on like conditions and stuff, and like being being in the NBA, there's pressure. When it comes to the media, the you know you got your coaches, you playing away games and home games, and you just know it's a lot. Anyways, welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where Fire Sports content is the name of the game. I am your host, Devin, and today I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Adroit Talk Show. Man, what's good with you?
Not much, man. Chilling, man. Celebrating this Warriors win, and hopefully
Yes,
my
sir.
Broncos could double it up and get a championship too, man.
Man, Magic Johnson should have bought the Broncos. Man, he know he
Seriously,
do.
seriously, I was hoping he was, man. I would have showed up to Denver if that was the case.
Exactly, man. So so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about basically the Kyrie Irving situation. Basically, Kyrie Irving and the Nets aren't seeing eye to eye. The Nets are basically about done. They're just like, we already know we already know what you're giving us right now, and this is not what we need. We want to win the championship. I know Kevin Durant, on the other hand, wants to win the championship, and it's just not working out. The two teams who are the front runners are the Lakers and the Knicks, but the Lakers are, the stronghold. They're holding it out. They're really trying to go after Kyrie. And we already know for a fact, if we can go back in time, 2015, 2016, Kyrie and LeBron played with each other they were on the same squad. So, Adroit, what do you think about the situation, and what do the Nets need to do in this situation?
I think the Nets need to take some responsibility for this, because this is all their fault. From them not having a championship team to Kyrie Irving not agreeing with everything they're doing to, hey man, I even heard Kevin Durant isn't happy there. So Nets just need to take responsibility. They had one of the best teams in the league before they made the trade for James Harden, and they absolutely torched it all away once they made that James Harden trade. Got rid of Karis LeVert, and what they brought LaMarcus Aldridge back. I mean, the guy didn't even play in the postseason. But
Yeah.
as far as what's going on now with Kyrie, terrible situation for them, but I'm happy Kyrie is out of that toxic environment. I mean, there's no way anybody would want to go to work for an employer that doesn't want them there. And if he joins LeBron again, I mean, it's gonna be good for the fans, man. When both of them put up 40 in the finals against my Warriors, I was kind of upset because we lost, but like it was historic, man. Like we've
Yeah.
never seen two players on the same team score 40 in the finals ever, and I highly doubt we'll ever see that again. And man, Batman and Robin, man. Batman and Robin. It's really Batman and Superman because both of them are on that superstar level. But Kyrie, man, I hope he goes somewhere that really wants him and cherishes him. I don't want to see him with the Knicks because the Knicks are, I believe, a terrible franchise, and they're just gonna have bums around him. They might trade R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle for Kyrie Irving. You know who's left on the team? I can't even name him besides Obi Toppin. But I do want to
Yeah.
throw another team out there, the Heat. If the Heat get Kyrie, the league is in trouble,
What?
man. The league is in trouble. The
Why you
Miami,
say that?
because my Kyrie is a dog, man. Pair him up with
But
Jimmy
yeah,
Butler. Oh my goodness. And Bam, the league is gonna be in trouble seriously with Kyrie on the Heat.
that caught me off guard. He said the Heat.
Yeah, it caught me off
Oh,
guard too. I just seen it before we got on. They said the Heat are coming up in this conversation.
So
So
that's three. That's three teams right there.
three of them things.
Hey, so when I look at, so basically with Kyrie, when I look at Kyrie, him being with the Nets, I was taught your best ability is your availability. He played about 20 away games. Crossing the boundary line of the mandate and the New York City mandate, and he just didn't want to, contribute, just comply, like get vaccinated. That's all. I mean, every player had to do it, no matter what. This is the procedure you got to go through, and he didn't want to go through with that. So, like, you averaging 27, 3 and 6, and then it's like you're playing part time. You're not playing full time because you can't play any home games, and then you're not. That time he sat out for like a very long time before he came back, and I'm just like, this team was good. They were great, but I think the issue here is I feel like Durant was more committed than Kyrie. So like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, even though they're good friends, they don't really mesh together. Because they having James Harden on there. I feel like my only thing with Harden is he wanted to bring Houston James Harden to Brooklyn. That's not gonna happen. Like you're not the star player on the team. You're not gonna get the ball. You're not gonna get the ball. You're not gonna have the ball in your hands all the time trying to, jack up all these shots that you used to do in Houston. You gotta play with other stars and you gotta, make stuff happen. But with Kyrie, I feel like his best bet is to go with LeBron because LeBron is the one that knows him best, and LeBron could really help him because he needs it. Every teammate needs that one player. Every star needs that one player that's like that. That's like that brother figure who is like,
A
I look up
mentor.
to him. Yeah, mentor
Mhm.
that looks up and like, look, I may not be feeling motivated, but I need some of that motivation. Like, and that's what LeBron does. But there's also talks about like a 3-player trade. I know they talked about trading Kyrie and Russ for trading Kyrie for Russ. So basically LeBron and Kyrie can reunite, and so can Kevin Durant and Russ. And I feel like that's what they probably need. Russ and KD together because they played well together. Russ is a high motor dude. I'm sick and tired of people like getting on Russ. It's not really Russ's fault that, for the Lakers and everything. He played in a system where he didn't fit and they had high standards. He was playing for his hometown, and like Russ just had one bad year. Like every player has a bad season, but he wasn't feeling himself. He wasn't that very confident. If you could see the way he was playing on the court, fans telling him not to shoot, booing at him. And then there's other ones where it's like, oh, does Anthony Davis want to? Would they trade for Anthony Davis? So by far, what do you think about these trades if it were to happen?
Man, I seen some crazy trades. I seen a trade that had Kyrie getting traded for Russ, and then it had
Yeah,
AD getting traded for like Rudy Gobert or somebody. It was a crazy trade.
I ain't see that.
Yeah, that one was crazy. It was a 3-team trade. They had
Oh yeah.
Boban and I think Donovan Mitchell going somewhere else, but it was a crazy trade. No matter what happens though, I don't want to see Kyrie in the Nets uniform just because of everything that happened. You mentioned he didn't play all those games
He
because of
wasn't committed
standing.
either.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie, he got a lot going on, and he needs to be with a franchise that's really going to back him, not what the Nets are doing, man. Because this is terrible to watch, to be honest. Because if you ask me, man, I can't help but go back to this. You had Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Um, man, what was the big man that they traded to Cleveland? He was nice. Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Oh my,
That they
oh,
messed up on that one. That was because if you got him and Claxton, and then LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm like he's old. You got to get him to come off the bench,
yeah,
and
he's
then
he's that mentor you was talking about. He's Udonis Haslam.
Exactly. He's like Udonis Haslam 2.0.
Yeah.
but the, but then you got guys like you got Blake Griffin who just like fell off the face of the earth. He's in Detroit because when he was in Detroit, he still had money left on his contract. So he like some of the money he gave back to Detroit, and then like whatever else he did with the money was his choice. But like he came to Brooklyn and then he dunked for the first time in years. And I'm like, yo, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that in Detroit. But then if you really like go into detail with it, he really didn't have a role. He was just out there just to play. He was just out there playing. He didn't have a role. And so I don't know what's up with the Pistons. They done got rid of so many great players. You know, Andre Drummond and now Jeremy Grant. It's crazy.
Yeah, and with Kyrie, man, I mean, there's not too many opportunities you get a chance for a franchise to get a top 15 player in the league. And
Yeah.
if I'm anybody, I'm trading away a lot to get Kyrie, no matter if it's Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't say the Lakers should trade AD and Russ to get Kyrie, but that's ridiculous if you ask me. But
because then you mess up your core.
Yeah, you mess up your core, and who's rebounding for the team? I mean, who's the big man the Lakers have besides AD?
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight. Forgot about Dwight.
That's the only player they got. But honestly, it's like that's tough.
Exactly. And man, I would love to see Kyrie and LeBron match up again. We all pretty much seen the interviews where Kyrie was talking about how it was a mistake and how he was watching TV and the media basically was painting a narrative, and he actually started believing this narrative of him not being his own man. But I mean, come on. I seen a question back when Kyrie was with the Cavs, and they basically asked him, how is LeBron as he's a father figure to you? Now, I've been on a team with some people that's older than me. There's no way that I'm going to consider my teammate a father figure. I don't care if you're Udonis Haslam. I don't care who you are. We are players. You're not a father figure. You're a brother. You're a mentor. You're not a father. So that was incredibly disrespectful. And there was a lot that was going on that kind of melted his young mind and pretty much took away from everybody, man. As a fan, I would have loved to see LeBron and Kyrie stay for a little while. We could have seen what they could have worked out. But wherever Kyrie goes, I wish him the best.
Yeah, truly.
But I gotta say something before I let you say something, man. Okay, LeBron James. The only way LeBron James will get a ring is if he goes to Golden State. I gotta say that. I gotta say it. If LeBron wants a ring, he gotta come to the Bay. He got
that. That is true. that right there. I've been waiting for it because I heard. I'm like a lot of friends I talk to. They tell me that it was like, man, LeBron just need to go to Golden State just to kill the league, because it will be like it would be unfair because you can't do nothing. It's like, bro, you got LeBron on Golden State, but they also talked about him going to Brooklyn. I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work because when you look at it like him going to Golden State, bro, LeBron, Curry, Clay, Poole, Wiggins, Kevon Looney,
All-star team.
Draymond. I don't know how Draymond and LeBron gonna miss because them jokers gonna bunk heads, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Them jokers gonna bunk heads, man. That's
But if there was any team in the league you would see Kyrie going to, where would you go? Where would he go?
I mean, obviously the Lakers, but at the same, that's another thing I want to touch on. So I remember reading an article and Athletic, they put their stuff out, and they were talking about the Lakers cannot do a sign and trade because it's going to hit them that cap really hard because they're we already know that they got Westbrook, they're over luxury tax, and the thing is he would have to opt in the trade. So it's like like if he wanted to go there, yeah. So if he was like, oh, I want to go to Lakers, I'm committed, I want to opt in, but it's like the same situation with when they got Russ because all that money that Washington had to pay Russ, now the Lakers are dealing with that. So by Kyrie opting in, you have to satisfy him. So now you like Rob Pelinka and Lakers have to satisfy him, just like 26 to 49 million. We already know his contract's 36. And so the Nets just look at the fact that, it's not working. So we gotta let you go. We're telling you, or we're letting you know that we think you should explore your options in the free agency. I thought I know we talked about the Knicks early on in the show. I was thinking about him going to the Knicks because, for one, they're an up and coming team. I mean, they made it to the playoffs for the first time in a long, long time. So I was thinking about him going there because they got RJ, Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, and I think Derrick Rose is still there. I believe Derrick Rose is still there, and they got your boy RJ Barrett. Two college buddies that's reunited together.
Cam Reddish
and RJ Barrett.
Yeah,
and so I just think they should play Cam Reddish more and put him in the rotation, like in the starting lineup, because he can really help this team too. So having but then you look at it as like we know watching the Knicks play in their games, like throughout the regular season, even when they played against the Heat, they're a team that they can start off good in the first half, and they can also start off bad in the first half. Like sometimes they'll start off good, and then the second half come around, they just like turnover after turnover, miss shots. It takes them about I want to say 5 to 6 shots until they make their first one. So it's just like, I don't know, but I think if he goes there, it's kind of like Boston Celtics all over again.
I feel the same exact way. Where they're gonna have to move him. I was able to find one of those trades that I was talking about. And in this trade, it's kind of small. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Yeah, you can't even see that.
Okay.
It was the Lakers getting Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry. The Nets.
I seen that.
The Nets getting John Wall, and the Rockets getting Russell Westbrook in the first round. I don't think that's gonna go through because Russ has already been with the Rockets.
The Rockets. It doesn't make sense for Russ. It doesn't make sense for you guys to trade John Wall for Russ, because they already talked about that even before you went to the Lakers. You're basically
The Lakers dubbed it. They said no.
Yeah, because you're basically getting the same. You're getting the same player. You're getting the same player all over again, because Russ and John Wall are like literally they're the guys that attack the paint. They shoot the mid range. They're not really great 3-point shooters, or they're not good 3-point shooters, but they're streaky.
Yeah, they're very streaky.
But the only difference is Russell Westbrook's available. John Wall hasn't been available because dealing with whatever injury he had. But he decided to exercise his option and just go in free agency. I don't know where he's gonna go. But really, Bradley Beal is out there too.
Yeah,
I think he should go to the Heat. Or at first, before Russ left, they was talking when he was leaving out. I was like, man, he should go to the Warriors, bro. Do you know how dangerous? No.
Why he taking Wiggins?
You could put Poole. You could put either Poole on the bench and have Poole coming off the bench like he normally have. He's shown he could put up 27, 30 points coming off the bench.
So who would Bill replace? We got Steph in the starting lineup, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond.
Oh dang. Yeah, that's true.
You gotta get rid of Clay. I mean, Clay for Bradley Beal is pretty fair, don't you think?
Well, yeah.
But okay, it was another trade too. This one I kind of like, but I don't think they'll do it. Lakers getting Kyrie and Seth again, but the Nets getting Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon, and the Pacers getting Russell Westbrook in the first rounder in 2028.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. There was one trade that came out the Lakers tried to do. They tried to trade. They offered Russ, Taylor Horton Tucker, and a first round pick. The Pacers rejected.
Who was on the Pacers? Who did they want?
They wanted. I mean, obviously, it was going to try to get Turner and Brogdon because
both.
For long, like They wanted Brogdon and Turner, mainly Turner. They went after Turner first. The
Yeah,
Lakers went after Turner first, but Turner can help them turn that around because he's like he had about 28. He was shooting 28% from the 3 point from the field in terms of threes in the regular season. But I was like, dang, they do not want Russ, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. A lot of people say like nobody wants Russ because he doesn't have it anymore. I'm like, y'all just going based off that one season, bro. Like Russ, like Amon Shumpert said it on he did an interview with Vlad TV.
Vlad. Yeah,
He did an interview with Vlad TV, and he was like, you paying this man 47 million. He not giving 47 million minutes. You know what I'm saying? His contract's
right.
47 million. He not getting those amount of the way he getting paid, he not getting the amount of minutes. And I wanted it to work because I'm a big fan of Russ. You know, I understand that he hasn't made any team better other than, OKC. That's obviously the only team, like after Durant left, they went to the playoffs a few years and then that was it. But it's like you didn't really get to see Russ be Russ because the problem is, and now that I seen it later on, Russ and LeBron are two ball dominant guys.
Yeah.
And so Russ like to play fast.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron is on cruise control. He'll go coast to coast when he needs to or when he wants to. But why wouldn't the Pacers take Russ? You're going into rebuild. So you might as well take a vet guy for the time being who can also be a mentor because you put Russ around young guys, he gonna run. You gonna really see Russ show out. You got to put him against some young guns who like to play fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about Russell Westbrook. He plays fast. Russ and AD don't play. I mean, LeBron and AD don't play fast. It's like you see him on the fast break, they'll get them fast break points, but that's it.
Exactly. They not pushing the ball down court really that fast. For Russ, really, I mean, I know people say he had a bad season, but this is actually his lowest turnover season since he
Exactly,
was a rookie. I mean,
and that's what
yeah.
people are not looking at.
If
They're
you're
not.
beefing with your coach, I mean, it's never gonna go well. I've never heard a coach say they don't like a player and then it turns out to go well. The team doesn't even make the playoffs, really. But just terrible situation for Russ, man. I hope if nothing happens and he plays for Darvin Ham, I hope Darvin Ham can get this all figured out because
He spoke highly of Russ.
he did, and Russ was right. Did you see Russ was back there in the press conference? He was
Yeah,
watching it. I don't think Russ's career is over. I don't think he's
nah,
terrible. I don't believe any of that narrative. I think he's still a bucket. I think he's a great NBA player, top 25 all time, if you ask me. And he just got to be in the right system to where he can really take over and be Russell Westbrook. Yes, him and LeBron James are ball dominant, but LeBron James is gonna be what 39 next year. So it's
but he
sometimes where
he
Russ
30.
can.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait, I was like, hold up, he 37, but he just turned 38. So yeah,
Yeah, I think his birthday like in December, but
yeah.
it can be times where Russ does his thing, where LeBron does his thing, and throughout the whole season, I did not see a pick and roll of Russ, AD rolling to the basket, AD getting a lob, none of that. I don't know what Frank Vogel was doing, but me just being a casual, I'm not a casual NBA fan. Me just being an NBA fan, man, I I could do better than that on 2K. I don't know what Frank Vogel was doing, man. It was just
But
disgusting.
he had a few lobs with him, but I think now, like for me, I was like, you know what? I still love Russ, but a player I really want to focus on is Lonzo Ball. That's a guy who I'm going to be looking forward to watching, throughout the season. But with Frank Vogel as the coach, you really have to build a relationship with your players and really understand your players. That's one thing that they didn't. I don't feel like Frank Vogel did. Russ is the person who's going to speak from his heart. He's going to tell you what is on his mind. And a lot, I think a lot of people don't really step up to LeBron like how Russ would. Like Russ would step up to LeBron. I remember AD. There was a time where AD did step up to LeBron about whatever situation they were going through, but it was just like I feel like, bro, people fear LeBron. Some people still fear LeBron, but these young cats like John Morant, they don't fear LeBron. And then like, you know, it's just weird. The Pacers need to stop playing around, man. Y'all could have got Russell Westbrook. Y'all in rebuild mode. I don't know why y'all playing. Like you might as well have a vet on your team that gives you that mentorship, like how you said about Kyrie. How they asked Kyrie about his mentorship. How did he feel about the mentorship that he got from LeBron? But I wouldn't say it'd be no father figure or nothing because
Exactly. It's
most
OD.
players, most players who like even like LeBron whose father wasn't in their lives or whatnot, their father figures are their coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't just go off and say that. Yeah, that is disrespectful though. But at the same time, with Kyrie, that's one thing I forgot to mention. I don't know if you watch I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall and Chad Ochocinco, or Chad Johnson. Ochocinco was his thing when he's played for the Bengals. Um, Kyrie was on their show and he talked about his his relationship with LeBron, the situation with LeBron. I was one of those people like I felt like, oh yeah, Kyrie and LeBron, I don't think Kyrie liked LeBron. But at that time though, Kyrie wanted to be his own man. He wanted to be the alpha dog. Now we know that for a fact
Yeah.
because when he went to Boston, when Kyrie went to Boston, he thought, okay, I'm gonna do my thing, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Nah, the media, the press, these analysts, NBA execs, they held him accountable because of his poor performance. Y'all lose the game. You can have a good performance and lose a game, but who they gonna look to? You the
Yeah.
star.
They both.
You the star that shines the brightest on the team.
Yep.
You got a co-star, but everybody else they just role players. You the biggest star, so they gonna look at you because you're the leader on that team. What could you have done to made your team like, hey, we got to change up this defensive scheme. We got to change up this offensive scheme. Let's not when they come down the court, they know we finna run pick and roll, or they know you know, we finna play man to man or 3-2 zone on defense. Let's change it up. What's the strategy we need? But Kyrie, he knew. Once he knew that, he was like, "Oh man, it wasn't what I thought." I'm surprised when you said Kevin Durant's not happy with Brooklyn. I was like,
Yeah, I've
"What?"
been seeing reports. It's from unknown sources, so I don't know how true it is, but that's
Yeah.
what I've been seeing, man. But let me ask you a question. Okay. How do you defend, let's say Russell Westbrook, top of the key? How do you defend LeBron James and AD setting a double screen on whoever Russell Westbrook is guarding? You can't defend that, man. You got if he takes the AD screen, AD can either roll or he could pop. If he takes the LeBron screen, LeBron can roll or pop. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop that. And Frank Vogel did not do that one time this season. And have Carmelo at a corner and have who else another 3-point shooter for the Lakers? Austin
Uh,
Reeves in the other corner. Nobody is stopping that, bro. You could just run that play the whole game, entire game, nothing else. I don't know what Frank Vogel was doing. I'm glad he's gone. Darvin Ham, he has a great rapport with LeBron. Played up against him, and he gave Russ his props. He's doing everything the right way coming in. He's doing the opposite of what Vogel did, and if nothing happens, because that's the side that I'm on, I don't think anything is going to happen. I think Russ going to stay there. I think
yeah,
Darvin
me
Ham is
too.
definitely going to lead them to the playoffs at least.
So okay, so to answer your question about the pick and roll, yeah, nobody's stopping that because
Nobody.
When Russ comes off a pick and roll, he's coming in full steam ahead, full speed ahead. Like you said, he's a Ferrari, man.
Yeah.
He just got unlimited speed, and um, they it's crazy with Frank Vogel. I wanted to mention this earlier, but you got to understand though, he's a defensive minded coach. And so when you're a defensive minded coach surrounded by just straight up offensive players, you ain't gonna know what to do.
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
only scheme, your only scheme is defense. That's your best ability is defense.
Right.
And the thing about it with LeBron is it was like I don't know like LeBron LeBron is trying to play point. LeBron playing point guard. He doesn't want to play his normal position. I'm like, really, honestly, if I look at it, by having Russ over there, they didn't have championship aspirations that year. They didn't have championship aspirations. LeBron's only goal was to rack up these stats and to
Try to get
and the dream, as I say, the dream was to chase Kareem.
Like I like that. That's tough.
I've been saying that like that through that whole season. I was like, the dream was to chase Kareem, and I kind of thought about it with a buddy of mine. He was like, just look at the roster they had. LeBron basically got Russ, so they could put on the scoring display, so they can Carmelo's their shooter, and then Austin Reeves, like you said, and then there's another. Oh man, they need to get rid of Kent Bazemore, man. Get him out of here.
Yeah,
he's terrible. He tries to be Russell Westbrook when he can't. It's like that's like with Kyrie. When Kyrie was in Brooklyn, that viral video that went up when he in Brooklyn, when he fell to the ground, like he put the ball behind him and he got it to the side and he fell and he got back up and tried to hit that buzzer beater, but he missed it. That should have went in, actually. In my opinion, that should have went in. I don't know how that didn't go in.
I gotta see it.
It was like when Kyrie first got to Brooklyn, but like, man, come on, Lakers, bring Kyrie to the LA, man. I need him and LeBron back together again. I need to see KD and Russ. I know that's what I want to see, because Durant don't need to have the ball in his hands, to be honest. Let Russ be Russ. Durant, because he always gonna facilitate. He's gonna facilitate and get Durant to pass. That's the thing that people don't understand about Westbrook. He could facilitate too. I feel like he's always been a slasher, but he's also a playmaker. He could, if you look at the way he played with Steven Adams, Paul George, Carmelo, and these kids, mainly Steven Adams. Those guys, like even playing with Victor Oladipo. He did like coming down the court, they inbound the ball. He throws the ball between this guy's legs, half court pass, and got it down there. Like they said when Russ was at OKC, they was like, oh, all you do is score. Oh, you can't rebound. Oh, you can't pass. He did all that. Now he racking up triple doubles. That is something to look at. I understand that in today's league, it's all about championships, but let's be real. There are players in this league that have made an impact without winning a championship. They've broken records. They've done things for the community. Like Derrick Rose, youngest MVP ever.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, what he brings to the game. It's their style of play is what got them to the NBA. The way they play the game, people love that. Like, it's the little things. Russ plays hard. Nobody plays harder than Russ. Right. He's always hustling down the court, trying to do something. So yeah, he might miss his shots. Yeah, he might make a fool of himself, like the Shackton moments. I feel like that's what it was for him. But he also had a poor performance. And like you said before, he had the lowest turnover ratio. That's something people are not talking about. We always looking at what he didn't do. Mm-hmm. Look at the big picture. Look at the things. Even though those are things these are the things he didn't do well. Look at what he did. The same with LeBron. Nobody's gonna critique LeBron, but I'm gonna have to critique him, bro. Like literally, he had turnovers in games. He had more. There was games where he had more turnovers than Russ, and there were times where I don't know why, but LeBron would just be sitting on the ground for like 3 to 5 seconds, and then if his team either gets a steal or a rebound, he's up and running. Like, dude, just play defense. Like, same with Russ. I know Russ didn't play defense but come on, like, if you're going to hold somebody accountable, hold LeBron accountable because he the big star on their team.
That's facts.
Not saying I ain't saying I like LeBron. I ain't throwing no shade or hate to LeBron. Like, I respect LeBron, his accomplishments and everything, but like, let's be real. It's not just Russell Westbrook who was it wasn't just Russell Westbrook's fault that the Lakers team went downhill. It's not just him. Nobody says nothing about Anthony Davis.
At all.
To me, he was in the same situation as Kyrie. He just didn't show up. But the only difference is he was injured, injury prone. I'm sorry. it's true. It's true. Injury prone.
Made of glass, man. Made of glass.
What else can you say about AD? Oh, we want to see the bubble AD. You want to know why AD went off like that? Because what did they have in mind? They did that for Kobe. Imagine if LeBron did not win that championship for Kobe. They would not let him live with that, bro.
He probably would be retiring or something soon. It's just rough.
And he still hasn't made his decision on whether he wants to commit to the Lakers for sign that extension, because LeBron's just sitting there waiting like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna bring in, because y'all talking about Kyrie coming back? Oh yeah, LeBron got to be behind the scenes, because LeBron is not only just a player, coach. He trying to be the coach, like Skip Bayless say, the GM, or he's doing it. But at the same time, LeBron's a businessman, and he know how to play his cards right. It's a game of chess. Every play counts, every step counts, every move counts. So, but they for real get Kyrie, and let's just call it quits. Let LeBron and Kyrie reunite. Let Russ and KD reunite, because that's what Kevin Durant needs. He needed somebody with that inner fire, who is like that brother, like I said, that brother figure who was always, because if you have somebody who's energetic, who brings out that energy, dude, you're just you're the cool, chill guy, you have the yin and yang,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Kevin Durant needed. He had somebody that was similar, just like him. You guys are both like laid back and cool. Same with Paul George and Kawhi.
Exactly. And the Lakers, they're gonna need more pieces, man. So if they work this out and they're able to get Seth, that's gonna be huge.
Yes, I'm. When you said Seth, man, I was like, you get another Curry, man. That's Seth a bucket.
Yeah, he can go get his, man. No questions asked. Seth is like that from 3-point line. But I mean, we're not talking about Ben Simmons or nothing, but he definitely will have a huge impact. You forget all about him, really.
I'm sorry. Oh man, so Ben Simmons, man, I was happy. I ain't gonna lie, I was happy because he needed to get out of. He wanted out of Philly. Let's be real. He wanted out of Philly. Nothing they could do. But their strength was they got perimeter defense, because that's what they needed. And when you look at Ben Simmons, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Since we was talking about trades, there was another trade talking about, Ben Simmons, Kyrie. They had Kyrie, Ben Simmons, and Seth. You trade those guys and you get Russ, AD, and I forget who the other player was, but it was Russ and I seen it, and I was like, word. I was like, what? I was like, because I don't know about that, because when the situation with Ben Simmons, when they were talking about he was going to be trading 48 hours, they were talking about him going to the Lakers. I was like, oh man, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that trade? Like, if that was to happen,
that trade would be crazy. Ben Simmons, I don't think the Nets gonna move on from the guy, but that trade would be crazy. Giving up AD and Russ for Ben Simmons and Kyrie, two guys that really haven't been playing, like that's gonna be ridiculous. And Stephen A is gonna have a field day with that on ESPN.
He literally came out and said Golden State gonna repeat. I was like, oh my god! And now it's like, it's so much. And then, okay, let me ask you this: do you really think that Ben Simmons could have came back in the playoffs? Like, would you wanted to see him at least try?
No, I don't want to see nobody make a season debut in the playoffs. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's LeBron, Steph, Kobe, Michael Jordan. Do not make your season debut in the playoffs. It's just a chemistry thing. You've never played with this team. You're gonna do it in the playoffs. It's just
And
spell for disaster.
exactly, that's what I said once before. I was like, yo, he hasn't played with this team. And one thing for sure, the regular season is the regular season. The playoffs is a whole different ball game.
Facts.
You cannot put a guy, you cannot bring a guy in the playoffs and then he doesn't know your whole offense. He doesn't know your system, and you're bringing this guy in. He's basically going in blind. He
Right.
doesn't know what's going on. So it's like, okay, so I know how I play. I have to play my own game, but how do I do it with this in this system in this setting? Because I feel like Ben Simmons, he hasn't been the same since that playoff run he had where he really messed up. It ain't been the same, but I would like to. I mean, that would be crazy if that was to happen. Then really, the Lakers would really be a threat because of his perimeter defense. He got defense again, but I'm glad they. At first, when they were searching for a coach, when the Lakers were searching for a coach, I was like, "Yo, you got to get Mark Jackson."
Yeah.
Okay, I said, man, if you don't get, because I feel in my heart like he would be the only coach that could really understand Russ. And I was like, yo, and he would, him and LeBron would clash. I feel like him and LeBron would bump heads at time from
Respectfully though.
time to time because Mark Jackson ain't gonna let you do what you want to do. That's what LeBron. That's what LeBron does. LeBron is doing. He's like, if you really look at LeBron the way the players he had on his squad, it's like you haven't like Mario Chalmers. You haven't seen Mario Chalmers in years. LeBron wants to play. Wants to. It's like if you don't fit into LeBron system, you're not gonna succeed. But I feel like LeBron has to adapt to his own teammates. You can't. I understand you the star, but everything can't just evolve just around benefiting just you. You have to do something to help your players because that's what team chemistry is about. That's what that chemistry is about. You gotta have it.
And I think Kyrie would be the perfect person to help
Really,
LeBron with that, honestly, because
he
who
doesn't need the
else is gonna
ball
tell LeBron no besides Kyrie Irving? I've never seen anybody else be like, or LeBron calling for the ball, and then Kyrie is the only person I've seen tell LeBron, no, I'm not passing this to you. I'm about to go get a bucket. I don't care what you say. I don't care what fit you throw. Nothing like that. I'm about to go get us a bucket. We about to get a win because of me. But
because
I'm sorry. I'm
he's a
sorry.
scorer.
I
He's a
gotta
scorer.
correct myself. Russ did tell LeBron. No, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah. And Russ and AD, them the only ones.
Yeah,
And that's why I said Russ don't sugarcoat nothing. That's why I like Russell Westbrook because he gives it his all. Like
exactly.
I remember seeing the pic on Instagram. They were like, Russ says, "I have no friends on the court. My only friend is Spalding, the basketball." And so he's coming to get you. Like I don't care who it is, he's coming to get you. And the thing with Kyrie is like, I don't need the ball in my hands. I just want to score the ball. Like how they made him the two guard and they played and they had James Harden playing point. He just want to shoot the ball. He don't want the ball in his hands all the time. So that's it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what happens, man. I mean, it's gonna be crazy, but I think the person who's really gonna decide free agency is Bradley Beal. Seems like
Yeah.
he has something up his sleeve. Last week it came out that he has a plan. Ain't no telling what this plan is.
He ain't telling nobody. He ain't told the Wizards. I'm like,
Nobody.
sealed.
And if he comes out of this in a Lakers uniform, I'm how can you not pick them? Of course, the Warriors have to fall apart. Like we have to lose Jordan Poole and Kevon Looney and stuff. But how can you not pick them to be one of the best teams in the league? I really don't see how. Or Chris Middleton for Bradley Beal. I mean, Bradley Beal has something up his sleeve, and I definitely want to see what it is.
I want to see where he's gonna go. I honestly, I think Miami Heat would be a good fit for him too.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and Jimmy Butler, and they'll be because that means Jimmy doesn't have to be the primary scorer. So Jimmy could that takes the load off of Jimmy. Jimmy
Exactly.
buckets.
Exactly. And with the Lakers, man, even if they get Kyrie, they gotta get them a center that's gonna rebound, number one, but also hit a three here and there. Yeah, I've seen Dwight Howard hit a three recently, which looks kind of funky. You know, he's shooting from his hip, but
Yeah,
still, they need somebody who's going to be out there hitting some threes and rebounding the ball. And besides AD, and I can't name too many other centers doing that.
yeah.
Period.
I I think in today's NBA, like they don't really. There's more. They're it's like they're more concerned about the guards than the big men. So
Yeah,
no plays are being set for the big man. And I'm like, now with Curry revolutionizing the game and shooting, it's like every player. We already guards been shooting the ball, shooting from beyond the arc since day one. Now you got these big men. Everybody wanted to shoot threes because who's shooting threes? Curry. So
exactly.
it's so many things. It's just like wow.
You're not
But
gonna make it out the West without a good center or somebody who's rebounding the ball. You're gonna have to get through Jokic. He's coming back with his team healthy next year. You're gonna have to get past what's his name? Christian Wood now teaming up with Luca. That's gonna be crazy.
honestly,
Um,
they big three is Luca, Christian Woods, and Jalen Brunson. That's their big three right there. In my
ridiculous.
opinion, in my opinion.
And then you got Spencer Dinwiddie coming off the bench, and then Tim Hardaway's coming back next year. He was injured. They're going to be a good team, but you have to get another big man for the Lakers if they want to contend, really. And it's not too many of them out there.
But before I end the show, just one more thing to touch upon. The Lakers really messed up after they won that championship. They really messed up when they split that team by getting rid of two of their big men, Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee.
Yeah, yeah,
The only thing about Dwight Howard was he came out and said that well, he put out a tweet that he was coming back, and then he took it down. He took the post down, and so I think the thing with him, he was like, I want more playing time because obviously, Dwight was just good for the regular season. JaVale McGee was the guy you want in the playoffs. So that's how they played it off. That's how they played. That was their scheme throughout the season. Play Dwight Howard in the regular season because we know what he can do in the regular season. He'll give us some good looks here and there in the playoffs, but our main guy is JaVale McGee. Dwight Howard wanted more minutes and plus, well, he wanted more minutes. He wanted more playing PT. So that was his reason he brought up for leaving. But then now you bring him back, and it's just like really like what else you gonna do now? You don't have JaVale McGee. You just have Dwight Howard. Then you bring in DeAndre Jordan. I was like, DeAndre Jordan ain't been the same. I was like, you bringing in a small dude. I'm like, why are you? First of all, why are you starting? Let's just say they just kept DeAndre Jordan. They brought in Kyrie, and you still got this lineup. Why are you starting DeAndre Jordan over Dwight Howard, who knows this system very well? You won a championship in the bubble with Dwight Howard. He knows the system way better than DeAndre Jordan.
and he's actually going to do something. DeAndre Jordan just seems like he's collecting the check nowadays, man. And I just looked it up. My computer's lagging a little bit. Sorry about that, but I just looked it up, and if the Lakers get Hassan Whiteside free agency,
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be good.
I'm glad you brought him up. He's another one out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna
Uh,
be good. Or Nurkic, and another person on this free agency list that I've seen is hang on, not Cordy Jang. Oh man, hang on, it's loading. My computer is really Serge Ibaka. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka. If they get Serge, that'll be pretty nice for him too. Can hit the three, play some defense, rebound. They just need somebody to fit a role, not somebody who's trying to score. And if it's Kyrie that comes, hey man, I'm gonna be hyped. I definitely want to see Batman. I meant Superman and Batman back at it again.
Yeah, we gotta see that. Man. Anyways, you guys, that is all for today's show. Make sure y'all check out my man Adroit Talk Show. His link is in the description. You also check us out on YouTube. I'll check his YouTube out as well. My man is putting out some great content. Every time I watch him on YouTube. Energetic, bro. He's like passionate about what he's talking about, and he knows what he's talking about. So y'all find him on Instagram also at Adroit Talk Show. Y'all can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, on the Chosen League. You got a TikTok too, right?
No TikTok.
No
yet.
TikTok. No TikTok. All right. And also, you guys can check out my podcast because I do video, but I also do audio. So you can check me out on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Anyways, y'all, we out. We signing off.